Hey, I wanted to do another quick video here in my hotel room. So I had an interesting interview, my wife and I, with Mr. Anthony O'Neill yesterday. It was actually a phenomenal interview that we had, and I'm looking forward to it being released. One of the questions that was asked was about transportation. We got into so many various topics, but one question in particular was about what was my dream car. And just to be transparent, the answer I gave was, growing up, the cars that we had, they were always one ride away from breaking down. So let me set an example. We actually had a gallon jug full of water every time we would leave the house. And we would have that, just in case the car radiator overheated. So we already had the routine down where, hey, once you start seeing the smoke, you get that jug of water, you open the radiator up, you pour that water in the radiator, and it's gonna be just enough to cool the car down enough to get back to the house, wherever we are. And we had it down, like literally, you knew it was at risk of overheating anytime you left the house. So growing up, I rode in cars that had the ability to break down anytime you left the house. And it was understood, right? So that was what I knew. So if it broke down, it was really not that big of a deal because we had means to get back home somehow. It might take us a couple extra hours. It might take us 30 extra minutes. But we knew it was a possibility anytime we left the house that we would have an extended amount of time away from the house because of what I would call unreliable transportation. It is what it is. That's how it was. I don't have a problem with it. And looking back on it to this day, it helped to shape me into who I am today. So I do have an appreciation for the things that I went through growing up as far as, cars and finances and things like that are concerned. Because I truly wouldn't be who I am today if it weren't for those experiences. So back to that particular story. So growing up and having these vehicles that had a hard time getting you where you needed to go, my answer was that a dream car to me, from my perspective, was any car that's going to reliably get me from point A to a point B. Plain and simple. I don't care if it was a 1990 or 2010, like whatever car is going to get me where I need to go, that's a dream car to me. All I want is a reliable car. So I have a Toyota Camry 2016. My wife has the 2016 Odyssey. And obviously when you talk about sexy cars, an Odyssey is not going to be at the top of your list, right? But it's a sexy car to us because we know anytime we get in the car, we're going to have a vehicle that's going to get us where we need to go and back to the house. Same with my Camry. So those are dream cars to me. Like all the other stuff, like it doesn't matter. I would rather put my money into retirement accounts and brokerage accounts, index funds, rather than put it into a depreciating asset. Like that stuff doesn't mean anything to me. Now, once we retire and we have money falling out of bank accounts, falling out of our pockets, however you want to put it, yeah, maybe I'll go ahead and get me like a little play car, or a toy or something like that. But in the meantime, those things just aren't important to me. And I would rather save that money for other things, save that money for experiences, than to put it into a vehicle. Because once again, a vehicle is a depreciating asset, and the ultimate objective of a vehicle is to get you where you need to go. And let me just tell you one more thing, just to kind of elaborate on that. I had an interview with Brandon from Work-Life Balance on Instagram, who, congratulations to Brandon. He and his family just topped the $2 million net worth mark about a couple of weeks ago, I think about 2 weeks ago. And it had been something that he had been tracking for a while, trying to get there. And he just hit that mark. So congratulations to him and his beautiful family. So one thing he mentioned when we sat down and we spoke a few months back was how he pulls into the neighborhood next to his neighbors who might have Bentleys, they might have Lamborghinis. They all pull into the same neighborhood. They pull into their garages. Those garages come down. Nobody that passes by either of those houses know what car is in those garages. So he has a BMW, but it's a 2009 BMW and it's paid for. So it really doesn't necessarily matter if you have a Corolla or if you have a Lamborghini in those garages. Nobody could tell anyway. And to be honest with you, if they could tell, ultimately, nobody really cares what we drive. Nobody cares what we drive. So just to kind of go back to what the original question was, what is my dream car? My dream car is any vehicle that's going to get me from point A to point B. So, ladies and gentlemen, continue to build your wealth. Continue to be good stewards of your money. And I would love to hear any feedback you may have in the comments below. Thank you very much. I appreciate you tuning in. Take care.